And we're in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to One Good Question, a 50% of Facts episode, Friday episode, where we take one of your good questions. It's from Discord. That's our community where we hang out. You get early access, exclusives on gym apparel, everything to do with 3rd Street, everything to do with good company, as well as a like-minded community. And if you want to get involved, 50percentfacts.com is a link to that Discord, and you can join. And today's question is from Mikexbull. He said, as someone who wants to open a gym eventually, what do you think is the most important part of the planning? Since I read the question and Jim just heard the question, I'll start to give him the time to think. So I already had that question in mind, and I think we've actually done things really well in hindsight. And maybe that's a little bit of my ego still and a little bit of, compartmentalizing. But I think the truth is we did about as good as you can do considering the pandemic and the state we live in, right? Literal state and metaphorical state we live in. And so I think if I had to move the scale or the seesaw of the efforts we give, but I think we gave really equal and good parts to kind of the gears, which are the gym, right? The X's and O's, the pricing, the model, the marketing, the facility, the hellos, the goodbye, the operations, all that, versus like the branding and the voice and the marketing kind of ties into both, logos, blah blah bebop bebop, and then the third, I guess, would be the complete untangibles, the culture, the vibe, the people that are here, our team, etc. If I had to score each one, I would say the gears, it's probably a B plus in terms of planning, and then execution, hopefully maybe B minus B in terms of planning, and then we kicked it up to a B plus as you go. The logos, culture, or the logos, the branding, the aesthetics, I guess, of the gym would also probably go in there, from plan to execution, probably same thing, B plus, maybe creeping up to an A. And maybe this is my ego talking. Maybe those who have been here are looking out think, fuck you, you're wrong. And then our team, I think the same thing. We're new. I've been a boss for a long time, but I'm not a boss. I'm not that guy. But I think we've done a really good job at cultivating a culture, both employee-wise, that spreads through the company, et cetera. Again, a B, there's always room for improvement, so maybe no A's in any of those, but B's in all of them. But for you and anyone out there, I think most people pay more attention to the things that don't matter, the branding, the logo, the whatever. And what really matters in a company are the gears. What the day-to-day looks like, what the operations look like, what your processes look like, what demographic you have in your area, location, that typical bullshit, but it is very important. And for us, the only negative of our location was the pandemic-y and the state of the state, like I talked about. But otherwise, we already knew there was, because we live here, it was easy, but we already knew there wasn't a location like this within 15 miles that had this type of gym where it's a strength and conditioning based, barbell based, strength based, power building based, that you can just show up and train. A lot of them are classes and et cetera, et cetera. So we knew we hit the niche that was needed. Obviously it was just the timing that we took a big risk on. But if you figure out your gears, so you figure out who you're serving, why you're serving it, how you're best serving them, and then the location. The other, I guess, the biggest mistake, in a quote-unquote mistake, because we knew it going into it, is the size thing. You always do want to open small. You'd rather fill up and then grow out as something than the other way. So if you're brand new to opening gym and you're a brand new personal trainer, which I don't recommend. I recommend getting your feet wet as a personal trainer and building your own community before opening your own facility. But always err on the side of too small rather than too big, I would say, because you can always upgrade, and downgrading doesn't feel good and it's much more difficult.
Yeah. I would say this. I think that you have to start with a kind of what they call a critical self-assessment. Look at yourself and say, to what percentage am I an optimist, and to what extent am I a pessimist? How inspired am I? How cynical am I? All the stuff. And know that going in, and understand that any venture like this is going to cause you to have to suspend the pessimistic, cynical part of yourself some.
I think you might have to suspend both.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if you're too much the other way.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's, yeah.
Because that's how I fly. And
Yeah.
I've known that from therapy and everything else. But I fly extra high or I fly extra low.
Yeah.
Which obviously isn't good either.
Yeah. You have to, I mean, what I'm saying is being realistic, but like we don't know how to be realistic about things that are unknowns.
100%.
So you can't believe super, deeply, wholly with your entire person that you're going to be successful from jump. And you also can't spend too much time thinking about crashing and burning.
Yeah, I think both on a business scale, business plan, and your personal inner fights daily, both of those things matter a shit ton. And no one talks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing point. Because, what you present to your members, your employees, the world, right? We always know, cup half full guy and cup half empty guy.
Yeah.
What you represent and how you push and how you think based on setting goals and a plan, right? Everything we do in the gym and in business is set a goal, set a plan, execute. If you do those things, you probably will be successful. But then, how you fight your inner fights every day when you see money leaving the bank account, or little examples of how extreme things get. Shout out to our boy Max Tuning, who's absolutely killing the candy game, and he's killing a lot of games, but his candy company's, literally killing it. And he'll jokingly, but not jokingly, throw some of the numbers out on Instagram that he's writing checks for $250,000
Right.
to buy candy. And he's like, well, here we go.
Right.
So my point to that is that when you dream too big or you look on things too negative, the scale of things can change that up too. Right? If you're used to collecting a certain check, or you're used to doing online coaching or in-person training, where you're dealing with hundreds, now you might be dealing with thousands. So now things switch to 4, 5, 6 figures when you're starting to do your booking or doing your taxes or whatever. And don't let that also affect where your brain goes. Because it is all just a scale and it's all just ratio. But I think controlling all that's super important for long-term success.
I think also that if you think you're going to be in the black right away, you should back out, because that's not, especially if you need to count on being in the black right away, because nobody ever is. Well, not nobody, but it's really, really rare to start any new business where you're in the black right away.
That's kind of where I talked about at least having a background in your area.
Yeah.
There's been obviously some people that have been successful, so shout out Indy Barbell and Steve, but I think Steve moved to a city he didn't know.
Yeah.
And he did research. And same with our Austin boys, our game day boys. They all kind of did this thing, which is, they did research and they had a business plan, but they all moved to new cities to start a new business.
Yeah.
Which just adds another hurdle to your gig.
Yeah.
And both those guys, Steve and our game day homies, had a name in the online industry, so that counts. I would recommend, again, whether it's locally, you run in boot camps or classes or one-on-ones, that you have a community, a voice, and a lack of better, a name there. Then opening a gym helps. Even us, obviously we had our online name and we knew a bunch of people locally, and it helps, but it's not a guarantee. But you have to have that. If you're just some schmuck from nowhere with no name locally, no name online, and then you just try to open a business, I think it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that we talk about the fact that most new businesses fail in the first 2 years, and
yeah, I think 80% is the most recent-ish.
Which
marker.
is just that's a fucking Gibraltar to climb, right?
Yeah. A lot of it depends on what you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Because you can make anything work, and I hate, you guys know I hate life coachy, cliche-y things, but one thing I do kind of just I live, but I hate saying it because it sounds corny, but it's true, is if you never quit, you can't fail.
Okay.
And that's not very intelligent always, but it's just the truth. If you never quit, you don't fail.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can run every deadlift program on the planet, eventually you're going to hit a deadlift PR. But if you hit a plateau and you quit, now you failed hitting a deadlift player, right? You're not a failure, but if your goal is to hit a deadlift PR and you stop deadlifting.
Yeah. I'm about to listen to a book that's about quitting, so.
Yeah. Maybe you'll say the same, or maybe you'll say I'm an idiot.
I think it's just the opposite. People, I think that the premise of the book is that people don't quit often enough, but you have to define what quitting is.
Right, and that's what it is to me, right?
Yeah.
But
giving up, but
and also changing your goals isn't quitting either.
No.
If my goal is no longer to be a gym owner, and you move on to something else, power to you.
Right.
Yeah, that's all fine and dandy.
Yeah. That's all semantics. And
yeah, it is.
Really.
Yeah, it is. And none of it really matters, right? As long as you're following your path and you're happy.
Yeah.
Fuck it. But if you really want to hit that deadlift PR, and now you switch to bodybuilding, even though, what's that? Cognitive dissonance kind of thing.
Right.
Like in your heart, you still want a deadlift PR, but now you're trying to step in a Speedo.
Yeah.
Now we're fucked up.
Yeah.
Now we're not living our true selves. If you guys want to live on the life coach talk, your truest, highest self.
All right. Well, I think our truest selves need to get out of here.
I'm going to go hit a squat workout. Ladies and gentlemen, Wednesday and Friday, brand new episodes, 50percentfacts.com. If you share this out on Twitter or Instagram, we'll be sure to retweet. Love to hear from you. Love to see from you. 50percentfacts.com if you want to check out the Discord, 3sb.co for all your apparel needs. And if you're in Northern California, stop by 3rd Street Barbell. I'm selling Mike everywhere you want to find me.
I'm at the Jim McD on all the social media. This show is 50% Facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% Facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network, and we'll talk to you next Wednesday.